はい、どうもしんたです。今回はザ・スタンリー・パラボーをやっていきたいと思います。なんかこのゲームよくわかんないんですよね。とりあえず Steam で面白そうなゲームをちょっと調べてみたんですけど、まあここに行き着いたと。なんか Steam の評価見てもすごい評価高いんですよ。なのでね、なんかこの何かわからない感じも含めて僕は気になってるのでやっていこうかなと思っております。じゃあ行きましょうか。
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day.
黙ってようと思ったけど、ボタンの触り方がさ、キーボードの触り方ひどくないか。
Every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
なるほどね。ちょっと待って、さ、ホラーじゃないよね。ホラーだとしたら何をすればいいんだ？何ができるかどうかもわかんないな。なるほどね。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
とりあえず
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
そうですか。壮大なネタバレだ。なるほど。どうやらこのスタンリーと
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. No,
今から探そうとしてんのにさ。そうか。全部潰してくるな。そうそう、さっきの話の続きですけど、スタンリーとこのナレーションの男の人がこう物語を進めていくような感じになるのかな。さっき会議室って言ってたけど、僕がいろいろ操作をしてったらそれに合わせてナレーションを入れてくれてたんで、もしかしたら別にその通りにやらなくてもいいのかもしれない。左のドアに入りましたか。なんかそう言われると逆に入りたくなるよね。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
そうか、やっぱりそうだね。物語の通りに、物語というかナレーションの通りに進めなかったとしても後付けで追ってくれると。だから逆に言うとさっき言った通りナレーション通りに進めなくていいっていうことだよね。ここが
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
座ることはできないのか。あ、座れるな。
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
おー。いやでもこのしゃがむボタンがあるのがなんか。
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall
なん
personality.
か嫌だ
It's
な。
possible that this is why everyone
いや
left.
しゃがむっていうともうなんかイコール隠れるみたいなさ、何かから。
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
めっちゃ批判されてるじゃんか。何ここ。ああ、倉庫かな。ここから降りることもできるのかな。ここはカードキーがないと多分ダメなんで。これ戻ることはできるのかな。ああ、戻れない。嘘だろ。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
どういうこと？これは私のためではない。彼女のためです。いや、それにし
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
どういうことだ？
She's been waiting.
彼女？よし、閉まるんだよな、これで。これ本当にホラーじゃないの？なんで暗いの？お、びっくりした。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
なんだこの部
then
屋。
pick up the phone.
出るこ勝手に立ったんだけど。
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
何
Gotcha.
びっくりした。
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
お前バカにしやがったな。
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
ふざけやがって。からかわれたんだが。で、この人何なの？この人。
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
何
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
ああ、そういうことか。スタンリーと同じことをさせられてるんだね。何を押せと。
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
なるほど。
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
「それには従わぬように」と出たので、それには従っていないんですけれども、そうすると話が進まないわけでしょ。それはまずいわな。
You see? Can he just not hear me?
どういうことだよ。そんな押すなって言ったから押さなかったけど、それじゃ話進まんないんだもんか。
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
なるほど。これあれだね。実質的なゲームオーバー。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
ちょ
room.
っとさっ
Perhaps
き
he had
の
simply
ナレ
missed
ー
a
ション
memo.
との、一方的な会話を聞いてたわけなんですけれども、どうやらなんか深いゲームみたいですね。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
従ってみよう。
left.
よいしょ。会議室に来ました。ここでしょう。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
上司の部屋。上かな？
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
あ、 ここ自体がもう上司の部屋なのかな。なんかすごいな。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
何でもかんでも言うし、何でもかんでも教えてくれるんだね。
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was
どこをタッチなんちゃら
2845.
はめっちゃ言ってくるじゃんか。
2845.
もう圧を感じるよ。どこ？キーパッド。
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
何もしなかったから先にやってくれたってことね。だからパッドはどこだったのよ結局。俺が全然分からなかっただけでみんな分かってんのかな、もしかして。まあいいや、勝手にやってくれたみたいだし。なんだここは。怖っ。何こっち。怖いからやめよう。もうここだろうな。うわー、なんだよこれ。完全にホラーじゃんか。なんかすっごいナレーションの人にポンコツ扱いされてる気がするんだけど。
Descending deeper into the building,
Yo,
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
うわー、なんだよここは。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
マイン
that
ドコン
read
トロール
Mind
施設っていう
Control
ところに入
Facility.
るか言われて、うわ、エスケープって書いてある。逃げようぜ。いやダメか。さっきみたいにゲームオーバーになってもね。うわー、なんだここは。すごく嫌だ。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
いやー、なんか不気味だな。まああのボタンか。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
すげえ。なんだこの施設は。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He
まあ、みんな
couldn't
思うわ、
accept
そう。
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls
ただ
once and
そうは言っても
for all.
さ、別に家には帰ってたんだよね、スタンリーは。まあその他の人たちもそうだけど、だからその会社内でのことが監視されてたっていうことじゃなくて、すごいなんか嫌がってるけどさ。どうなんだろう、嫌なもんなのかな。別に会社内であればね、監視カメラがついてる仕事だってあるわけだからさ、別にいいと思うんだけど、なんでこんな大げさな物語になってるんだろうか。なんか見落としたかな。いや、そりゃ私生活まで全部ね、そうされてるんであればちょっと問題だけど、どうなんだろう。全て壊すとは言ったものの、どこでそれが壊せるのか。
ちょっともうこれ難しいんだけどな。これなんだ場所。特に何もないのか。やっぱりボタンを操作していくしかないのか。押せるってことは何か意味があると思うけど。あ、なんか1番2番なんだ。マインドコントロールステイツオフライン。いやー、どうやればいいんだ。あ、この上に登れるね。よ番号順に押せってことかな。一回やってみようか。番号3番が見当たらないね。3番3番4、5番見つけたね。
ここにある。こ
And
れ
when
だ
at
ったんだ。
last he
全然
found
ボ
the
タン関係
source
ねえじゃん、
of
さっ
the
きま
room's
での。
power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
いや、こんな大規模な機械のくせにすげえ電源ボタン雑だな。はい、オフ。うわ、暗くなった。ん？動かせる。
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had
お
won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay
も
unsolved.
うそうだよね。
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
はあ、なるほどね。ってことは、このスタンリーと会社の人たちはずっと閉じ込められていたのかな。
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
いや、全然何のゲームか分かんなかったわ。そっかそっか、おそらくなんですけど、これはいろんなマルチエンディングなのかな。マルチエンディングというよりかは何回も何回もいろんなルートがあるから、そこに行って真実を確かめろと。だからおそらくなんですけど、なんて言えばいいんだろう。まあ今一番全てのことに対してナレーションに従った結果の最短ルート、まあ正規ルートですよね、一番になったのかなと。で、1個目ゲームオーバーになった時はあまりに全てのことに対して従わなかったがゆえに起きてしまったのかな。だから次はある程度聞いたり聞かなかったりしつつやっていこうかなと思います。ではまた明日、バイバイ。